stay in Cape Town now, and firefighters have contained a fire on Signal Hill in Cape Town. The fire was being fanned by a strong southeasterly wind. Well, ENC's Ati Mtungana joining us now with the latest from there. Ati, a very good morning to you, and thanks for your time. We understand you've been up with the story all night, and just hearing from Annette there, the winds seem to have died down. What are you seeing at the moment?
Definitely, Uveka, the wind has contributed to the fanning of the blaze across the Signal Hill area as well as Sea Point where we are. Right now, firefighters seem a lot more calmer compared to the scenes that we saw breaking out yesterday, where they were trying to put out the flames that were along the mountain of the Signal Hill area as well as the Sea Point area. I'm going to ask my colleague to pan and show you that we have some few firefighters on the ground right now trying to put out the few patches of fire that obviously still remain at various places around this mountain. Now, Uveka, the cause of the fire is not yet known at this stage. We spoke to Theo Lane from the city's fire department yesterday, and he said at this stage they cannot say and pinpoint what exactly started this fire. But as you can see, this is the devastation that was caused by a fire that started late afternoon yesterday along the Signal Hill area, which then spread onto Sea Point and closer to Camps Bay as well. But I must say that yesterday, seeing so many residents from the Sea Point area and the likes coming out to look at the flames yesterday, they were very, very worried. You could sense so much anxiety from people just watching the fire and hoping that it won't get closer to their homes. Fortunately, we haven't heard of any reports of evacuations, and we haven't heard reports of people being injured, other than people around the Sea Point area saying that they suffered from a lot of smoke, because obviously the wind, that southeasterly wind, was so strong yesterday. And I mean, right now I can say it has definitely died down a little. We did confirm as well through our weather department that it will be lighter, that southeasterly wind today, but it will be extremely hot. Temperatures will be soaring as high as 35 degrees today. And I must ask my colleague again, Asanda Javu, to pan and show you these trees actually in front of me. He's going to pan to them right now so you can see them. These trees, Uveka, actually served as a fire break yesterday when that fire was fanned by those strong winds. It was able to prevent the fire from reaching the properties right across while people were standing on the other side watching the fire go up the mountain. We also went to Lion's Head, where we saw those same flames being fanned by that southeasterly wind. You have firefighters dispersed all over monitoring the situation, and I mean, right now they are still heavily on the ground trying to monitor the situation and trying to make sure that all these fires are contained and controlled.
Ati, are we able, or have we been able to establish what started the fire, where it started exactly?
Well, it started along the Signal Hill area, and the city's fire department chief, Theo Lane, coming out to say that the cause has not yet been determined. Yesterday, last night, in fact, were still the early stages of the fire, so obviously their first point of reference and their first call was to obviously try to put out the fire and make sure that no properties would be affected and that no lives would be lost. As you may know, the Western Cape fires are notorious to, affecting homes as well as people dying in some instances. But fortunately, at this particular fire, the Cape Town fire, Uveka, no reports of serious injuries and no people evacuating. But I must say that because people were so worried, people were so frightened by the scenes of the fire. I mean, so many images were circulating on social media of the flames that people living close by, who could smell and who could see the flames and who could see the smoke, they decided themselves to evacuate their homes. A lot of people leaving late last night as well as in the afternoon, just making sure that if anything happens, they are safe. But I'm sure now they've gotten back to their homes, because we're seeing that the situation is slightly calmer than it was yesterday.
All right, Ati, and then just to clarify what you're seeing, from what you're seeing now, there is no immediate danger to anyone. There is no area that is at risk at the moment.
Not right now, Uveka, and I must mention how the firefighting crew could not dispatch aerial support yesterday, obviously because it was dark, it was at night, so the only people that were on the ground were the firefighters themselves. And I must say also how a lot of residents from the Sea Point area came out to assist the firefighters, a lot of volunteers coming out with wet towels, trying to make sure that they help the firefighters by beating up the flames. So they did contribute a lot towards making sure that the fire is contained. It was moving up the mountain, fortunately, and it wasn't anyway going down the mountain closer to where the homes are.
All right, thanks very much for that. Very exhausted, Ati Mtungana. We appreciate you hanging in there for us this morning, bringing us the latest on those fires there on Signal Hill and in Sea Point, having started late yesterday afternoon. No evacuations, no deaths to report at this stage.